Okay, hopefully there is no echo this time around, but hello, my name is Ryan and you are listening to the CrimeCast. In this show, we will talk about true crime cases, unsolved mysteries, and cryptid creatures from all over the world, from the mountains of the Himalayas to the suburbs of Los Angeles. And in this episode, we will be diving into the third tier of the cryptid creature iceberg, which I will be entitling Just Below the Surface. Because we're literally just now getting below the surface. If you guys don't know what a iceberg is, according to the subreddit r/iceberg, it's quote usually an image of an iceberg captioned humorously as to convey that the tip of the iceberg is the submission of the knowledge of most people, with the much larger submerged part of the iceberg being the sum of all knowledge of a particular topic. For example, how we're doing this is like the tip of the iceberg is the most known cryptids, while the lower tiers will be the unknown or like not as well known cryptids, if that makes sense. So yeah. And now we're finally getting into tier 3 after 6 months. I'm so fucking sorry. I low-key forgot about the cryptid creature iceberg. Well, I didn't. It's just that this one, the cryptids, had more of a story to them, so we could actually go in depth into them. But yeah, I got a mic cover for my mic now, so hopefully now when I'm in the echo, like in my room, there's not an echo, and if there still is one, I'm so fucking sorry. I'm not that good with the microphone yet. I'm still learning. Also, not that anyone cares, but while watching other podcasts, not a lot of people do background music, so I'll be doing I will still keep our background music, but it's just gonna be one song over and over again, so I'm very sorry, but like, it's the intro music. I think we'll be fine with that. But with that all the way, let's get into our next creature. Okay, so this is our first cryptid, and it is the Pacific Northwest tree octopus. This is believed to be an endangered species of cephalopod or cephalopod, basically an octopus or like a squid, that lives in the Olympic National Forest in Washington state. They can grow up to about 33 centimeters in length and 6 feet in diameter. It is said that the tree octopus will grow up in the waters of the Pungent Sound and then return there during their mating season. Even though this creature is fake, being created by Lyle Zapato in 1998, people claim that this is actually an endangered species due to logging, roads pollution, and overhunting in the area, with an organization being created called the Save the Pacific Northwest Tree Octopus Organization, which is fucking hilarious. This is actually one of 2 octopuses that will be on the cryptid iceberg, with the other one being in our next tier. So sorry if I mispronounced the name. Quetzalcoatl? Oof, that was probably not it. Is a deity slash god in the Aztec culture. Its name means feathered serpent, and according to the Aztec, he has 2 forms. The first form being the feathered serpent, and the second being a deity called Ifrit. Once again, mispronounced the shit out of that. Very sorry. Quetzalcoatl is said to be the god slash related to wind, Venus, the sun, merchants, arts and crafts, knowledge, and learning. Lastly, the Quetzalcoatl is one of several important gods in the Aztec pantheon. So in their like god system, he's one of the like more important ones. Scarecrows. Now, unlike the other creatures, this one will have 2 different entries, both that are not on this iceberg, but this is due to being 2 types of cryptids that can fit into this like category of scarecrow cryptids. So the first one is going to be the KuneKune, and the second being the ghostly scarecrow of Chiang. The KuneKune. The KuneKune is a Japanese urban legend and is also believed to be a yokai. The KuneKune is said to be a slender white shape, and it also looks like it is made out of paper mache or is just a piece of very fine fabric. He gets his name because it's said that the limbs of the figure will wiggle permanently, so he's just wiggling out in the fields. And he is seen mostly from a distance in rice or barley fields, normally seen around lunchtime on a hot summer's day. So it's mainly seen during the summer months in Japan. Sometimes people will see the KuneKune in the fields, with the workers around it not noticing the creature. In some variations of the creature slash scarecrow, it's said that if someone tries to look at the KuneKune up close, they will go insane. While other variations say if someone gets too close to the creature or touches it, they will literally just die. They will be killed. In the end, this is just an urban legend that was posted on the Japanese website / forum 2channel in 2001. So it's just this urban legend to scare, kids maybe playing in the barley fields or some shit. Because that makes sense. The ghostly scarecrow of Chiang. Now, unlike the KuneKune, this scarecrow is actually a type of alien. The alien was described as having yellow-colored skin, short with no arms and pointed feet. It had huge red eyes with a small mouth and large head and large ears. On August 31st, 2005, in the small village of Hoi Nam Rak, very sorry if I mispronounced that, located within the Chiang Rai province of Thailand, around 10 residents saw the alien hovering above a rice and lemongrass field. The first resident to see the alien was Soing Bunchariska. We're just going to call him by his first name. Who was riding his bike and had passed the field at around 8 to 8:30 a.m. Soing was adamant about the fact that he was sober. When he saw the creature at first, he thought it was a scarecrow that was automatic. So it's like this robotic type of scarecrow, and he's like, oh, maybe it's like this new scarecrow everyone's using type thing. According to him, when he saw the creature, it chilled him to the bone, and said that the alien seemed to be asking him for help. Once he left the scene to tell other residents, he described the alien and the fact that it seemed gravity had no effect on it. This fact caused many people, years later, to compare the alien to Finland's Kinnula humanoid, which is not featured on the iceberg, the Hopkinsville goblins, which will be featured in our next tier, I believe, the Japanese apparition known as the alien cosmonaut, and Japan's Kafu fanged humanoid, both not featured on this iceberg, Russia's Verishkin aliens, not on this iceberg as well. And lastly, Zimbabwe's aerial school aliens, not featured on this iceberg. And to say this, I really want to do an episode about the Zimbabwe aerial school aliens because it was like these 30 to 60 kids in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, at this school. And I think even teachers saw it and they just see this craft. And yes, the description of the aliens are same but different because, kids have different beliefs. So it's basically whatever they believed, that's what the alien was. But it was all very similar too, which is, oh my god, it's so mind-boggling, but I'll do a different episode on that topic. Skunk Ape. Now, I'm actually surprised this one is not higher on the list. Basically in either tier 1 or tier 2 of this iceberg, but who cares? This is not my iceberg. But basically, the Skunk Ape is Bigfoot's Florida cousin. That's literally what this is. Skunk Ape is commonly seen in the eastern regions of the U.S., but most notably in the Florida Everglades. The description of the creature states that it's around 5 to 7 feet tall. Oftentimes reports say it's smaller than its cousin, so it's like a very smaller version of Bigfoot. Has reddish brown hair. The creature got its name due to its odor, often similar to a skunk. The video you're actually about to see was shot by David Shealy's in 2000 when he apparently saw the creature. So enjoy. Spring-Heeled Jack. Now, before we get into this entry, I want to note that this creature slash folklore is very similar to the unidentified serial killer Jack the Ripper, who I actually did an episode on, so go click on the, go click on the I've card above if you want to go watch that video, or that episode. Spring-Heeled Jack, just like with Jack the Ripper, is an unidentified assailant who tormented London between 1837 and 1904, with the first sighting of Spring-Heeled Jack being in London in 1837. Mary Stevens, a servant, was walking towards an area of London known as Lavender Hill when a figure leapt out at her. So this figure was like, surprise, motherfucker! The figure then proceeded to grab and scratch Mary with its claws before she screamed, causing the figure to flee the scene. And now, of course, when you hear this lady scream, people kind of like were like, oh, what happened? Explaining it to her. So they went to go look for this attacker, and nobody could find him. So yeah, I was like, that was weird. After the first sighting, several other women in the area reported something very similar, but this was in the early reports, that Spring-Heeled Jack was a shapeshifter and had a ghostly appearance and wore gloves in the shape of claws. So that's how like the claw marks came about. In February of 1838, Thomas Milbank was arrested and tried for the attack on Jane Aslop, but was not convicted due to Jane's attacker being Jane's attacker breathed fire, blue and white flames into her face, end quote. So basically, Jane's attacker was able to like blow fire into her face. So, you know, this random guy named Thomas was like, I can't do that. Just a few days later, Lucy Scales reported the same thing, that her attacker blew flames into her face. After these two attacks, sightings of Spring-Heeled Jack were reported all over England, and not just in London and the surrounding suburbs. Spring-Heeled Jack mainly attacked young women, all of them describing their attacker as being a mysterious man, thin, wearing tight-fitted clothes, having red eyes, and claws for hands. During this time, many plays and novels started to feature the attacker, but this also caused a lot of stories and attacks to become more and more outlandish, like people were just saying they were getting attacked for, you know, like, just for, like, to be popular, basically, or to have, like, news coverage of them. People reported that Spring-Heeled Jack had superhuman abilities, such as being able to leap through the air and leap over buildings. So basically, the motherfucker turned into Batman. The last sighting of Spring-Heeled Jack was in Liverpool in 1904. To this day, it is unclear if the sightings of Spring-Heeled Jack were this, like, it was like this real guy, you know, terrorizing people, or it was a case of mass hysteria, an urban legend, or a ghost story that had just gotten out of control. Nobody really knows, like, anything about Spring-Heeled Jack, because he just, like, kind of, like, fell off the face of the earth, just like with Jack the Ripper. What if the two motherfuckers were real? Maybe like, they're the same motherfucker, the same person. Or maybe, like, Jack the Ripper was like, this guy did it before me. But, like, what if I actually, like, killed them? That would be crazy. Werewolves. Werewolves also go by names such as Lichithrof, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, Wolfman, or Dogman. Now, there are actually a couple of Dogman cryptids in this iceberg, so we'll be covering those later on. Are humans, usually bitten by the creature on full moons, that have the ability to shapeshift into a wolf or an anthropomorphic wolf-like creature. Werewolves are usually associated with full moons, and this is when a werewolf would usually attack. Now, the video I'm about to show you is, of course, a very famous piece of media that involves werewolves, and that is with Professor R.J. Lupin and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the best Harry Potter as a Marauders fan. If you want to hear I will literally do a fucking podcast episode about the Marauders. Even though it's not, like, anything related to true crime shit, I will fucking do that shit anyways. And it's his werewolf transformation with his man's Sirius Black, because Wolfstar is real, and J.K. Rowling is a bitch, because I don't fucking support that motherfucker who is transphobic and homophobic Yeah, I'm very sorry.
Remus, my old friend. Remus! Remus!
Wait! Wait!
Hermione! Bad idea, bad idea.
Professor? Professor Lupin.
The White River Monster. This is another aquatic cryptid, but it's a little bit different than the ones we covered because it's actually not similar to the Loch Ness Monster or Champ at all. The White River Monster, also called Whitey by the locals, lives in the White River located in Newport, Arkansas, or Arkansas, depending on who you are. The first recorded sighting of Whitey was in 1915, but had allegedly been seen since the American Civil War. Now, this is the 1915 sighting. On July 1st, 1915, a plantation owner spotted the creature, stating that it had gray skin and was, quote, as wide as a car and 3 cars long, end quote. It seemed that when the sightings of the creature stopped, it seemed like that the sightings of the creature just stopped until 1971, when a variety of descriptions started to emerge. Witnesses stated that the creature had a gray color to it, had a horn protruding from its forehead, a very spiny back, 3 or 5-toed footprints that measured about 14 inches long, and witnesses would hear an unidentifiable sound that they believed came from this creature. According to cryptozoologist Roy P. Mackle, the creature is actually just, an elephant seal that had entered the White River via the Mississippi River. Others say that it is an unidentified fish, while others believe it is an extinct Zephytinus. Mispronounced that one right off the bat. Damn. That has survived in the fresh waters of the White River. So people believe it's just like this, like ancient fucking fish, or it's a elephant seal. Which, how the fuck can an elephant seal have a horn or teeth? Wait, does it have teeth or like a spiny back? No, because it's a fucking seal. So the motherfuckers don't have a spiny back. Phoenix are birds from different mythologies from all over the world. They are usually associated with the sun. These birds are said to live for about 500 or 1,461 years and are known for their beautiful gold and red feathers. It is said that phoenixes are able to regenerate or be reborn. The 50-foot Congo snake. In 1959, Belgian Air Force Colonel Remy van Leeder was returning from a mission to the Kamana Air Base in the Katanga region of then Belgian-occupied Congo, or the Democratic Republic of the Congo, when he reported seeing an enormous snake as he flew over the forest. Colonel van Leeder estimated the snake as being 50 feet wide and 50 feet in length, had a 2-foot wide by 3-foot long triangle head. If his estimations were/are correct, then this creature would have been known as one of the largest snakes to ever exist. Colonel von Leeder also described the snake as having a dark green and brown top scales with a whitish colored underside. After seeing the snake, he asked the pilot to turn around and pass over the snake again. Upon returning, the snake's reared up and the front 10 feet of its body and head. So basically, when it reared up, it was about 10 feet. Like, it used the first, 10 feet of its, head and body, if that makes sense. Colonel von Leeder, due to the helicopter flying so low, thought the snake was going to strike at them and told the pilot just to resume their journey. People believe that a photo was taken of the creature, which you can see on your screen now. And it's also believed that the snake was either basically this like massively oversized African rock python, a new species of snake, or a descendant of the giant Eocene snake Octopus. Probably messed the fuck out of that one too. Like mispronounced it. What you're about to see is a video of Colonel Von Leader of an interview Colonel Von Leader did, and actually his English is really good. So I was like really proud that I found that video. I was like, oh my god, wait, his English is so good. Like, I don't have to put subtitles for him. Enjoy.
Over the hole where the snake was in, able to let the man take a picture of it. And I made certainly between 4 and 6 passes right over the hole where the snake was in. By then I was already flying for 25 years, so I have a very good experience of measuring things. And I would say the snake I saw there was close to 50 foot, close to 50 feet. I don't know, you say 50 foot or 50 feet, but very close to, certainly. And it was moving inside the hole and looking very dark green, deep green, brown, with his belly white. Now when I came down on that snake in his hole, and I would say at about 25, 30 foot up, the snake raised up by about, I would say, 10 foot. And I could very clearly, closely see the head, which was looking, and I could not make a better comparison, as with a very large horse, with big, very, very big jaws, looking triangular. And you're just standing up like there to me, and I feel and I'm convinced if I had been in its range, it would have struck at me, it would have been striking me. And yet, I would say it was certainly at least on the very 2 foot wide and 3 foot long. It could have easily eaten up a man.
This is one of those rare cases where we have an expert witness and an excellent photograph. Analysis of the ground features suggests that this animal was indeed at least 40 feet long. So,
Ancient astronauts, also known as ancient aliens, not the fucking TV show, by the way, are either aliens or ancient human astronauts that have been seen in cave paintings and sculptures all around the world. Man-eating trees. Man-eating trees are also known as carnivorous trees, or any type of carnivorous plants that are large enough to kill and consume a human or large animal. An 18th century Swedish naturalist, Carl Linnaeus, butchered that name, had rebelled at the idea that plants can be carnivorous, thinking that plants only ate insects, so like Venus flytraps, for example. But it wouldn't be until Charles Darwin had analyzed the idea that plants could be carnivorous that the mainstream scientific community accepted the idea. We'll get into carnivorous tree later on in the Iceberg. Doppelgängers. Doppelgängers are cryptids that have originated in Germany, with its name meaning double gore. It's said that a doppelganger is an evil twin that will go around to a person's friends and family, confusing them. People believe that a doppelganger is either some type of spirit or ghost, while others believe it is a creature with flesh and blood. Nothing is known about the doppelganger's original form, but it's said that the first person it sees, it will mimic. A doppelganger is said to have no reflection or shadow. The creature is said to have some type of psychic abilities, but other than that, nothing is known about doppelgangers other than it can mimic people. The Ghoul. Ghouls are from Arabic folklore and are associated with graveyards. In Arabic folklore, they are known as Ghoul, translation, literal demon. According to Arabic folklore, ghouls are desert-dwelling, shape-shifting, evil demons. Hence their name, literal demon. Ghouls most commonly take the form of hyenas and will lure people into the desert waste or an abandoned building to kill and devour them. The creature also will prey on children, drink blood, steal coins, and eat the dead. Some people believe that the ghoul takes on the form of the last person it ate. It is said that when a ghoul is well fed, mainly eating human flesh, it looks like a normal human, but if a ghoul is unable to eat for a long period of time, they begin to look less and less human. In its later stages, ghouls are extremely thin and pale. Veins are very visible and have long claw-like nails. And the video you're about to see is an alleged ghoul caught on camera, and it's weird because they said they're desert dwellers, but this literally looks like it's the forest. But I think the two men in this video, or like the two voices you hear, are speaking Arabic. Arabic, if that's is that the language they speak? I think. Like some type of Middle Eastern language.
Es la última batería que me queda. Tío, tío, es que lo flipa, ¿eh?
Tócale como la cámara, tío, que es retiro de
Mira, 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 mira. Es que, tío, yo qué sé, tío, se llaman plumas, tío. Mira uno.
Segur que sento xulo.
Home, tio, ja veus si sentim soroll. Des de fa rato que sentim soroll. Que sí, collons, que sí. Hòstia. Escolta. Ho sents o no? Ei, va, corre, follo, hòstia, va!
The Okapi are another creature that was first identified as a cryptid, but later was proven real. And Okapis, I believe, are now on the endangered species list. So, yeah, they're gonna. Hopefully, they don't become like the dodo bird or the woolly mammoth that we covered in the last tier. So, they are known as the forest giraffe and are a blend of a zebra, donkey, deer, and antelope. In the 18th and 19th century, Europeans referred to this animal as the, quote, African unicorn, end quote. The Okapi are said to roam the Yaturi forest in Central Africa, instead and around 4 feet 11 inches tall and around 8 feet tall and 8 feet and 2 inches in length. They have long necks, flexible ears, and their coat is a chocolate to reddish brown with white stripes and rings on their legs. Wanderlights. Wanderlights are atmospheric ghost lights seen by travelers at night. Wanderlights are often seen in swamps or other bodies of water, but there have been sightings of these lights in graveyards. When a person sees these lights, it looks like an orb of light, and are said to recede when approaching, leading travelers away from the safe path. Safe path? Depending on where you live, these lights are called many different names. The Ifrit, there's sorry to mispronounce that, comes from both Arabic and Islamic folklore. They are classified as infernal jinn and are enormous winged creatures of fire. Ifrits can be both male and female and live underground or in ruins. They follow a society structure alongside the ancient Arabic tribal lines. This includes them having kings, tribes, and clans. The Ifrit can either be a believer or a non-believer, good or evil, but they are depicted as wicked and ruthless, with their weakness being magic. The black beast of Exmoor, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, was a big cat or an alien big cat that had been seen in the Exmoor region of England. It is believed that the big cat was probably a black panther that was let go. This is because between 1970 to 1980, many people in England owned big cats due to not needing any type of license to own them. But after 1980, if a person didn't have a license to own a big cat, they just couldn't own anymore. They just couldn't own it anymore. So this led many owners to basically release their big cats. And looking more into this is probably the Queensland, I believe it was, the Queensland like phantom cat that we talked about last year. This could possibly be the same explanation, that it was somebody's big cat that they just couldn't take care of anymore and just released. The Satry. The Satry is a mysterious feline that has been reported just below the Mason-Dixon line, but mostly in western North Carolina. It is said that the creature preys on livestock and local pets. The creature was described as having a reddish, sometimes gray fur, a large head, long legs, and its tail is said to have 8 hard knots in it, making it look like a string of beads. The tail is also very powerful. Sightings of the feline happened between the years 1890 and 1920, in the 1920s. One of the first sightings was reported on September 4th, 1880, in the Statesville Landmark newspaper in North Carolina. Police officer Mr. Fettel, I think it is, Fettel, had claimed that he had shot at the creature while it was chasing a dog. The next morning, tracks were found, and it was alleged the creature had killed and eaten 7 pigs and 15 cows. A hunting party was then created, but they neither heard or saw the creature. But the only thing being found were a set of tracks that were 8 inches long and 4 feet wide, and were very similar to a bear. So this was probably just a case with the tracks of misidentification. As for the creature having an 8-knot tail, that could just be some like bogus in the fucking Appalachian Mountains saying that shit. Some bogus. Oh lord. If anyone just got offended for me making fun of people that live in the Appalachian Mountains, I'm allowed to because I used to live in the Appalachian Mountains, so it's justified. Atmospheric beast are flying monsters / creatures that have come from UFOlogy, cryptozoology, and astrobiology. So basically what those 3 things are UFOs, cryptids, and then I believe space biology, or like, air. Wait, astro's fucking space. It's space. Wow. Science taught me something, I guess. Anyways, according to reports / sightings, these beings resemble living creatures, but they basically break all usual rules that biology applies to these living organisms. They appear or have the ability to levitate without wings. So basically, it's like seeing a fucking flying whale in the sky, and just don't question it, guys. Just don't question it. Atmospheric jellyfish are a type of atmospheric beast that resembles a jellyfish. It is believed that these are actually a type of UFO or alien, but I'll get more into sightings and different types of atmospheric jellyfish later on in this tier and in the next tier. Avians are a subspecies of aliens, kind of like the Na'vi in Avatar. Barnacle trees were these like mythical trees of the Middle Ages, so they were seen during the Middle Ages, that had barnacles on them that would open up to reveal baby geese. This was a story that started from goose barnacles growing on driftwood. So basically this is just a case of misidentification. The black-eyed children are basically children, no shit Sherlock, it's in the name, that are between the ages of 6 and 16 with pale skin and black eyes. People normally encounter these children while driving on the roads, and the kids will ask for a ride. Others say that children come to your house late at night asking to use their phone to call their parents. Like, they're like, hey, we don't know where our mom is, or like something like that. But when one encounters a black-eyed children, don't allow them to enter your house or car, because it's said that the only way to get rid of a black-eyed child is to basically just ignore them. So like, let's say you're home alone, you hear knocking at your door at like 12 a.m. and you see these like 2 fucking kids with pitch black eyes. I suggest getting your ass away from your front door and literally turning off all your lights, acting like you ain't home anymore. just don't fuck with the black-eyed children. Black stick men are kind of one of the more recent cryptids on this iceberg. They are seen as 2-dimensional like and pitch black beings. Those who have seen the creatures report of the creature producing no sound and casting no shadow. Their height ranges from the height of a normal human to abnormally several feet tall. Many people assume that these creatures are ghosts, shadow people, or even Thundermen, but they are just their own cryptid. We'll get actually into shadow people in the next tier, and those are totally 100% different than black stickmen, but we'll get to that one in our next tier. The video you're about to see is an alleged stickman caught on camera in Russia, and actually, most of these like black stickmen that I have been captured on camera have been in Russia, so I think Russia has a little bit of a black stickman problem over there, so I'm not gonna go visit Russia anytime soon, because I don't want to deal with those motherfuckers, or, yeah. Dark fairies are a type of fairy that are usually described as creepy. Woohoo! Entry 100, and it is the Dutch flying jellyfish. Was a type of atmospheric jellyfish that was seen in the Netherlands. On June 1st, 2015, Harry Preeton, not to get him confused with Harry Potter, had gone out after a storm to take photos for his blog. When he went to check his photos, he noticed a green light in the shape of a UFO. Brinton said, quote, "I was taking photos and suddenly something flashed. At first I thought it must have been my camera, but the flash was not up, and there was not a drop on my lens." End quote. To the right is the photo that Harry Brinton took. The Men in Black. No, we aren't talking about the movie starring Will Smith, but we actually are in some way. We'll get into that later. The Men in Black, also known as MIB, are strangers, usually in groups of 2 to 3, who all look the same and are said to and basically tell people when they encounter them they work for the US government. They are said to appear after major UFO sightings to try and convince eyewitnesses they didn't see a UFO or aliens. A popular example of this was the Mothman sightings, and like I said with, I don't know if I said this was Injured Cold in the last tier, but Injured Cold was seen during the same time as Mothman sightings and is also connected with Mothman in some way. And he was also seen, Men in Black were also seen during the Dover Demon sightings, which I didn't know about anyways. So for those who have encountered the MIB, they say they all look the same and are around normal human height to almost 7 feet tall. They have no eyebrows, eyelashes, or hair, and are sometimes seen with sunglasses on or even a fedora. And they all wear black suits. Lastly, some say that the MIB drive black SUVs, which I think is how they get connected to the US government. And also with if you've seen the Men in Black movies, I think they say they are connected to the US government in some way, shape, or form. So there's actually a very famous clip of the Men in Black going into this hotel, I believe, or an apartment complex, looking for a woman, I believe. I think it was a woman who had apparently seen some strange UFO activity. I'll play that clip now. But yeah. Also, I think if I do a whole Mothman episode, I will go into the Men in Black with the Mothman if I can. With the Mothman. Fuck yeah, let's bring in Mothman. That's what that just sounded like. Shit. Fuck. All the swear words.
one of my bellmen approached me, and he kind of had a weird look on his face, and he said to me, can we go in your office and talk? I brought him into my office, and he says, something really weird happened here yesterday, and you weren't here. He said, there's a couple guys in here looking for you. And I said, a couple guys? What do you mean? And he said, well, this is really hard for me to say. He said, but there's a couple really strange-looking men that were here, and they kind of freaked everybody out, and they were asking questions about you. And, of course, now I'm getting a little bit nervous, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, he goes, I don't know how to describe them except for extremely odd-looking. They were really, really tall. He said, and they were identical height. They were the exact same height. They were wearing the exact same clothes, and they had the exact same faces, like they were twins. And he said they were wearing black suits, black trench coats. They were wearing like the old-fashioned federo hats. They had extremely, extremely pale skin. And he said they came in and they looked around a little bit and they asked for you. And I said, I'm sorry, he's actually not working today. And it seemed like they didn't believe me, so they started to walk around the hotel, and shortly after they went to the tour desk, and he goes, I got busy. I started to have to bring cars around and get luggage, and by the time I came back, they were gone. But he goes, they freaked me out, and I really wanted to tell you that there were these weird guys in here looking for you. So, of course, now I'm a little bit skeptical and I'm a little bit freaked out all at the same time. So the first thing I do is I run into my security office because I know how to work the security system, and I rewound the cameras, and sure enough, here comes two gentlemen through the front door looking exactly how he described. Then the next day, I was talking with my tour desk, and one of them asked to talk to me. She came in my office, the same as my bellman, and she said, I need to tell you about something that happened. I heard that you heard that there were some men looking for you. And I said, yes. And she said, they asked a few questions about you, and they said strange things that I didn't understand. And they were talking about governments and conspiracies, and none of it made any sense to me. But she goes, they were very, very scary. And I said, well, why were they scary? And she said, they had no facial hair, none. She said they had no eyebrows, no eyelashes, nothing. Their hair looked like they had a wig on, like it was attached to their hat, like it wasn't even real. And she said, and the scariest thing, their eyes were so big and so blue that they almost hypnotized me a little bit. And she goes, and you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but I swear they knew what I was thinking. I swear. And I don't think I'm crazy, but I don't even know how they could do it, and I don't know why I'm even telling you this. She goes, so I started to think about things other than you, and I don't even know if it worked. And she started to cry, and she said one more thing before she left. She said, these men, they didn't blink. Not once did I see them blink.
Metal Man. Speaking of aliens, this is actually an alien seen in Falkville, Alabama on October 17th, 1973. The Metal Man was described as wearing an aluminum foil-like suit, which was bright and, quote, as smooth as glass, end quote. The alien's movement was child or monkey-like, but at the same time also robotic-like. It also seemed to have no separation between the neck and head, and ran at non-human speed. On the night of October 17th, reports of a spacecraft landing in a field were reported. So, the chief of police, Jeff Greenhall, although it was off duty, went to go and investigate. Greenhall had grabbed his keys, handcuffs, revolver, and his Polaroid camera, which will become essential later on, and went to go investigate. Once arriving at the scene, there was no evidence of a spacecraft, so Greenhawk went back to his vehicle, but as he was about to leave, he noticed out of the corner of his eye a human-like entity. So he went to approach the entity with caution because he didn't know what this was or who it was. He would shout at the thing and it didn't respond to him, so his concerns grew a little bit heavier. But he literally got even closer to the fucking thing, and he noticed that the entity was wearing a shiny tinfoil-like material around its body and that its movements were very childlike. Green Hall then went back to his truck and grabbed his camera and shot 4 photos of the alien, which you can see on the right of your screen. So he takes those photos and then he goes back to his truck, and once he turns on his truck's headlight to get a better photo of the entity and, you know, with light illuminating it, the creature fucking ran, just bolted away. So Greenhaw went after it and said that it ran faster than any human he has seen before and was even unable to keep up with the alien even while driving at around 35 miles per hour. The alien would never be seen again. This incident caused Greenhaw to be terminated by the town council. His marriage fell apart and even his house burnt to the fucking ground after seeing this alien. This alien looks like a fucking Scooby-Doo character. Like, in Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I think that's the one. I don't know what fucking season or episode or year, but in one of them, they're at this like amusement park at night, nobody around them, like every fucking Scooby-Doo fucking like episode, and there's like this alien, and it fucking reminds me of Metal Man. So Scooby-Doo even saw Metal Man. Continuing on with the UFO theme, the Mexican flying horse UFO. This was a UFO photographed on April 20th, 2015 at the Colma volcano in Mexico. UFOologist enthusiast, sorry if I mispronounced his name, Eufrazio Gonzalez Cruzosco said, quote, "There have been a fair bit of activity around these volcanoes, and this latest sighting just adds to the mystery. There must be something about volcanoes that draws extraterrestrials to them. Perhaps they're collecting samples from our planet to take back home." End quote. Even though many people believe that this is a UFO, others believe it could be a Pegasus-like creature from mythology, or even an immature drone or speck of dirt on the camera lens. So nobody really knows what it is. Michigan Dogman is a werewolf-like creature seen in Michigan, with the first sighting being in 1887 in Wexford County, Michigan. Many people have even said that this creature could be the same one as the Beast of Bray Road, which is unlikely to be the same thing. NASA's jellyfish anomalies are another type of atmospheric jellyfish that NASA has captured in both pictures and videos. And the last cryptid for this tier is the Norwegian atmospheric jellyfish. On January 20th, 2010, amateur photographer Per Arne Melkassen, sorry if I mispronounced that, was taking photos of the Aurora Borealis, or Northern Lights, in Andres, Norway, when he noticed the jellyfish-shaped object. Many people believe that this object was actually created by the lights from the Aurora Borealis being bounced off a space satellite. And that was tier 3 of the cryptid creature Iceberg. Hopefully when I take, hopefully I can get out the 4th tier soon. I'm already doing the research for that. Episode 15 of the CrimeCast will come out after this is released. I'm not sure the time for that one. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all. I will see you guys. Wait, I will say though, that if I want to ask, I may do a poll on the community tab, but if I do a poll, whatever, we'll figure this out. Since I'm nearing the end of this iceberg, I'm thinking of doing either an Unsolved Mysteries iceberg, but make it actually different than this and have it be an whatever. I'm not sure yet. I have to think. I'm just rambling at this point. Or do a part 2 of the cryptid creature Iceberg. That's right, I found another one. Yes, there are some mentions of cryptids, but that's fine because what we can do is just breeze right over those ones. Make this quicker, but yeah. Also, even though nobody asked, I'm actually doing this right now, is compiling all of the episodes for the cryptid creature Iceberg, and we'll be making one long video for those. I just want to let you all know that now. But yeah, this was tier 3 of the cryptid creature Iceberg. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.